just don't get busted singing Christmas carols. That's us, that's right. Gotta love this American ride. Both ends of the ozone burning. Funny how the world keeps turning. Look, Mom, no hand. I love.
Alright, hello everyone. This is the first episode of TagTeamed, your right-wing political podcast and or show, depending on how we're feeling. My name is Grant, and this is Aaron, and we will be your host and hostess. And just to give you all an idea, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Okay, well, I'm Aaron. I was born on an army post out in Colorado. When my dad was in the military, he was a tank commander. And then 18 months later, my family moved back to Georgia. I consider myself from here because I have no memory of Colorado, but my whole family is pretty conservative, and political discussions have always been a big part of my life. And, you know, somebody's always talking about it at my house. You know, when you go over there, it's always talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm studying
Nothing wrong with
science.
that. Nothing wrong with that.
Now I'm a sophomore in college, so that's what I do. My life revolves around politics, even more now.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that at all. I was born into a right-wing family. We do have some lefties, but my dad just taught me, the way he raised me, he taught me with a lot of value. You know, be prideful in what you do. You know, do it to the best of your ability. You're not gonna please everybody. Obviously, you'll see how many haters I have on the page. You just gotta do your own thing. You know, and he taught me to give it my all, and a lot of people don't realize that applies into political ideology as well, on how you're raised and how you act in society. You see the difference between the way right wingers act and the way left wingers act, and it's just how you were raised, in my opinion. You know,
Two different types of people.
Two very different types of people. I started with politics when I was just in high school, I believe. I started the page in October of 2014, and it's just, y'all have been loving it since then. That's why it just keeps growing. I appreciate that. Thank y'all. I just love it. Politics is my life, but it's the only thing I'm really good at is pointing out the idiocies of the left and doing really good at it. My man Trump right here loves it. No, but seriously though, I really enjoy it, and it's just my political background. I was a political science major at a university in Florida. Not University of Florida, a university in Florida that I don't know if I want to give the name out to. But anyways, I was the only one in my class that wasn't super lefty, and that did not go well. Other than that, I keep grinding on Instagram and social media when it comes to politics. That's how I can get people to have a political conversation without threatening me in a classroom. So, with that being said, why are we doing this? We're doing this because there is no other right-wing political podcast, and I'll let you fill in on more on that, the couple part.
We actually met through that page. I was always arguing with someone in the comments when it was a smaller page, and I did it so often that he noticed me because I was putting like paragraphs on there and just going on and on and on. And so we started talking, and that's how we met. And so I've been fairly involved with it. When you're fishing and stuff, I run the page.
Yeah,
But
for those who don't know,
do the hard work.
whenever I'm offshore fishing with no signal, or I'm in the woods with no signal, she's gladly there to run the page for me and with me, and she does a great job, so I give her credit on that. I'm going to let you start off with the Charlottesville riots, Virginia.
My main thing with it is that, you know, all these liberals on social media are trying to connect what happened with the whole Republican Party. And I haven't seen anyone in the party condone what happened or, you know, support the people that were there marching, you know, for white supremacy or whatever. And, you know, it's white supremacy, I can't even say it, should not be tied to the Republican Party. And we need to fix that. We don't need that associated with us. And I just hate that that's what the left is doing with this, is, you know, saying it's the whole Republican Party. It's not. We're condemning it. Trump condemned it, even though they're saying that he didn't. You know, he did condemn it multiple times in multiple tweets. And pretty much everyone I've seen is doing the same thing. That's the difference between the left and the right. With all this Antifa stuff and Black Lives Matter, nobody on the left batted an eye or said anything about it. But we're over here condemning what happened. It's not okay. We don't support that.
And that was the point I was going to bring up. When Antifa was shutting down Berkeley, causing fires, destroying buildings, destroying property, you didn't see the left go after them. You didn't see them condemn them. What you saw was Milo be shut down and not be able to speak his mind by lefties, like by Antifa specifically. Mm-hmm. Okay? This fella, I'm not condoning what he did. It was very wrong. If you watch the video, his car was getting hit with bats, or a bat, and there was people beating on his car, and he was the way he was acting, I believe he was trying to get out of there. We'll see when the evidence comes out. I think he was trying to get out of there. And when you have a crowd surrounding your car and they're beating on your windows and they're beating on your vehicle with a bat, I want to see how y'all act when that comes down. And I want that to be said to all liberals. Let me go get a crowd, a mob, okay, and surround your vehicle and start beating it with a bat and beating on your windows. And let's see how long you stick around. All right? Now, what the guy did was awful. He shouldn't have ran over the people. He should have thought it through and made the right decision, but that obviously didn't happen. Okay, with that being said, let's move on. Let's find out what the deal is and how to better ourselves from his mistake and not to do anything like that. Because just know, if you're a right-winger, you're going to be ousted for your participation in any form of free speech that goes against the left. And what I mean by that, let's just, Milo, for example, again. Look, all he did was wanted to go speak to a group of people at Berkeley. He had people that wanted to hear him speak. Leftists shut it down. Okay, when Trump's rallies were going on, guess what? Leftists tried to shut it down, but Trump wasn't going to let it happen. Okay, they did. I think they did one. I think they had to take him out because of a threat, but I can't remember exactly. All right, and it's been every single one. Whenever there is a right-wing rally, there is a counter-protest. And I'm not saying white supremacy. Do not even think I'm combining them together. White supremacy is way out there. That has nothing to do with the real values of the Republican Party. I'm not talking about that.
Or the whole white race, like
right.
they try to say.
But just as Black Lives Matter has the right to protest the way they want, so does the KKK. Just because Antifa doesn't like that doesn't mean they can burn down or harass the KKK and not harass Black Lives Matter. That is hypocritical. They are both hate groups. Hate them equally. Okay? And with that being said, it's not that hard to comprehend unless you just want to comprehend it in the way of your little narrow liberal mindset. Now, I'm going to reiterate, because I'm sure this will get on the internet, about how, the typical liberal supports white supremacy. No, the fuck I don't. Excuse my language. No, I don't. It's not acceptable. But
yeah, the party as a whole does not condone that. I've never met anyone in my whole life, that I'm aware of at least, that would condone anything like that. And it should not be tied to our party. Those people don't represent our party or the views of Republicans in general.
Exactly. And I'm sure my black nephew, my by-blood black nephew, sure thinks I'm racist. Alright, next off. We're going to talk about North Korea and little Kim Jong-un and his cheese diabetes. Woohoo! Cheese is a diabetic food, but this man has just a fun fact, has such a freaking addiction to cheese that he actually got diabetes from it. That's not BS. That's something that is quite humorous. Now, with that being said, he's got to be constipated all the time. But anyways, I'll let you start off on North Korea.
Well, I'm honestly not that worried about it. I think it's something we should take seriously. But you have to think about the fact that North Korea is like the size of Missouri, and it's not like anything they have can really compare to all the stuff that we have. And if they do something first, whatever consequences we choose for them is fine with me. I don't feel bad. It's horrible for the citizens of the country who, are brainwashed and would have to face the consequences of him attacking us. But, if he wants to try something, it's his fault what happens to his own people. The job of a leader is to protect the citizens of a country. That's the government's job, and if he doesn't want to do that, then it's his own fault what happens to them. If he tries something, I'm all for just wiping them out.
I agree completely, and Guam is a U.S. territory. Those are U.S. citizens. And if he's threatening Guam, if he's threatening to blow it up, we won't act first. I know that. I know our generals and Trump will not act first, but if he makes a bad decision, he will be met with fire and fury, as Trump would say, and it's gonna not be good for the North Koreans. And a lot of people are saying a lot of the North Koreans are innocent people are gonna die, this, that, and the other. Look, they're brought up from birth to hate Americans.
They sing nursery rhymes about it over there.
Exactly. They are so devout on hating Americans from the time that they are children to the time that they're adults, and their life expectancy is I think 60, which is awful in this day and age, but that's how great communism and dictatorships are. But on a side note of that, it's just it doesn't make any sense to believe that these people are innocent in the fact that they don't have an absolute hate for us. They do not like us. Okay? And we need to protect our people. We need to protect Americans first. And then we'll worry about the North Koreans after the fact when their DA leader shoots a little rice rocket at us. Rice rocket. What little rice they have, they're starving, just put it on there. Anyways, just let's see how it goes. We're all watching North Korea. We'll see how the Un Master, I like to call him Master Un, comes out. Little Kim comes after us, and we'll see how that goes. And I would
not well for them if he does.
Not well at all. Not well at all. I'm gonna let you start off on feminism.
Well, I'm a girl, obviously. I hope you can see that. But I'm not a feminist by any means. I don't think, it has a place here in America in 2017. I'm for it where it's needed. Places like Saudi Arabia where women are actually truly oppressed. But if you're living in America in 2017, you're not oppressed. What right does a man have that I don't have? And if you really want to get into it, I probably have more rights than a man in the court system.
What she means by that is alimony, okay? Divorce always plays in favor of the court, or of the women in court.
Mm-hmm. Even awful ones.
Awful ones.
That should not have their children.
And usually they get children, they get custody over the man. Okay, so you take his money, you take his children, and you ruin his life in a sense, and you're gonna tell me that you're not superior? All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's be realistic here.
I don't know. It was a good thing when it was actually needed, like voting rights and stuff. That was something that was necessary, but today it's kind of turned into something that's just, they're not accomplishing anything other than embarrassing themselves and making stuff like false rape accusations more common. I think modern day feminism is partially to blame for that, and there's nothing appealing about it to me. They're all very repulsive people. They're hateful. They say, feminism is about equality, but it's not when you go around hating all men or thinking men are to blame for all your problems. I believe in the individual. Whether you're a male or a female, it's up to you to make the best of your life. That goes for race too. We're all Americans. That's the way I see it. So I don't identify with that. I don't support it. If you want to be a feminist, go be a feminist where it's needed. Not here. We don't need it here. It's pointless. You're wasting your time. Go do it where you can actually help someone instead of just standing around complaining, looking embarrassing, and just spewing hate, basically. That's all they do. Exactly.
If you really care about feminism and women's rights, go to Saudi Arabia topless and still not asking for it, panel. See how that goes for you, okay? All right? No, it ain't gonna go good. We all know that. Now, when it comes to, I asked people what they would like us to talk about, and there's a lot in the news. A lot of what's in the news right now is the alt-right. And how do you define the alt-right? What is the alt-right? What it's short for is alternative right, and a lot of people see it as hardcore white nationalist, painting a picture of racist, like the rally in Charlottesville. The way I see it, look, I get called all right. I don't know if I fit that description. I'm not racist. Okay, I'm not a white supremacist, and I've said that earlier in this video. The way I see the alt-right is the new generation of right-wingers on the internet. You've got meme lords, as they're called, meme veterans from the great meme war of the election, which we won by very large margins, huge, big league. And I think the frogs, the Pepe frogs, scare them. I think the dank memes scare the left, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about. And I can't believe it's just not coming to me. The left is so bad at memeing, it is funny. Okay,
they're too sensitive and they have no sense of humor. They're
it's awful.
Bland people.
Dude, it's unreal. I'm serious though, it's brutal. They're just awful when it comes to memeing. If you look at Occupy Democrats' Facebook page and they try to like meme, it's just like cringe. It's just
They
like,
blocked
oh my
me on
god.
Instagram.
Yeah, they blocked me too. I've been blocked for
It was a long time ago.
God knows how long. So much for free speech, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, no, big league Democrats are just awful memers. They're really bad, and I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know why they can't meme, but I think that has a lot to do with the election. I think memes are very important in this society now. Everybody loves memes. Everybody loves good memes, okay? And the left just doesn't provide that, so they lose an election. Bam. It was all memes.
I think there is a lot of confusion over the alt-right, though, how to define it. Milo calls himself alt-right, but he's not a white supremacist. He doesn't condone violence.
He loves black dudes. If you listen to him talk, he loves black dudes.
There's no way to tie him to the stuff that happened in Charlottesville. He never condoned that. I've never seen him or heard him say anything of that nature. He's not that way. So I don't know if you can really call the stuff that happened in Charlottesville alt-right stuff. I think maybe the people who were there would just rather give themselves that label than white supremacists because it sounds better. So I think maybe that's why. I don't know. That's the thought I had. But I don't know if there's a clear definition for it.
I don't think anybody really has a great definition for it because it's so new. Mm-hmm. Okay, it really started with this election, and it has a lot to do with 4chan and Reddit and Instagram and any social media platform. And if you're a liberal on there, you're gonna get memed. You're gonna get memed. It's just that simple. If that's considered racism that we meme against the left, then I guess everything is racist now. So, oh well. Back to feminism and the wage gap. Okay, let me make this very clear, and then I just want you to all realize that if you major in gender studies and you're wondering why you can't get a job or your paycheck is like $5, even lower than the minimum wage because you're worthless. That's probably the reason. Because gender studies is not a real major. It's not a real career. Go change it to electrical engineering. Go change it to mechanical engineering, cybersecurity, whatever you want that is real. And then you'll see.
The wage gap is so easy to explain, too. It's the only reason it exists is because there are more men in jobs like construction, mining, working on oil rigs, jobs that are more physical labor and they're dangerous. They don't take as many days off. They don't take maternity leave. So that's why that gap exists. It has nothing to do with gender. It's not discrimination. It's just because of men working, dangerous jobs and not taking off as many days. That's it. Yeah. It's simple. I don't know why they turn it into something that it's not. Just to push the victim narrative.
It's just awful. And if you really believe in the wage gap, then you need to do a little bit more research because especially Hillary Clinton, who was projecting the wage gap, was saying everything in her campaign about it.
She paid her
Yes.
female employers
Less.
or employees, I should say, less.
So if she's a real fighter of it, why would she be paying her employees less?
Yeah.
So
And, taking money from Saudi Arabia. She was really for women,
Oh yeah.
Especially when she defended Bill, tried to silence his rape victims. She was very pro-woman.
Yeah. Man, she's just a puppet. Now, next we'll talk about abortion. I'm just down to the nitty-gritty of it. Look, it's wrong regardless. There's no way to justify abortion. The only thing that I keep my mouth shut on, the only two scenarios I keep my mouth shut on is when a woman is raped, which is very low percentage, is very, very, very low percentage. I'm not talking about women that claim rape after a one-night stand. Okay, those are the women that need to be put in jail for ruining the man's life. I'm talking about women that are genuinely raped, and I'm talking about women that their life is put at risk because of that they could lose their life because of the baby. And I don't even say anything about it. I keep my mouth shut. I think it's wrong regardless, but that is understandable. Okay, and I'll let you talk about that because I know you're a woman talking about it.
Well, the way I see it, a life is a life, and if you're doing things to risk getting pregnant, that's just something that you have to always have in the back of your mind. But yeah, a life is a life. I don't think any life is really a mistake, and I think it's sort of selfish and irresponsible to think that you have the right to kill someone in someone else's life because it's an inconvenience to you for whatever reason, if you just don't want to raise a child. I think adoption is always the right answer. I've got 6 people in my life because of adoption. Their biological mothers made the choice to give them the life that they have the right to, and they're here today because of that, living their lives, and I'm very thankful for them. I'm glad they're in my life, and they're going and doing great things in the world, helping other people. So I always think adoption is better. And one thing I'll say about adoption is I always hear this argument that, they all end up in orphanages and it's a big problem. I know there are things with the process that can be fixed. It's expensive and stuff, and those things can be fixed, but a child is still getting a chance at their life, and there's something like 36 couples waiting for each child that's up for adoption. So it's not, when they try to tell you that there's just too many kids and, not enough people to adopt them, that's just not true. There's so many people waiting to adopt kids, and they're on a list, so it's always, always the better option in my mind.
And with that being said, I believe that will be the end of the first episode of Tag Team. So, fun facts for Kim Jong-un. Bring it on and see what happens to you. Feminism is a lie. Feminism is cancer. The wage gap is a myth. What else we got? Global warming is BS. We'll talk about that another time. What else we got? You got any final words?
Any final words? Not that's coming to my mind.
Alright. Thank you guys. I want to give a shout out to 556 NATO Flicker. He is a great guy with a great brand, great hats, great shirts. This is a different shirt. This is from Politically Erect Designs. Okay, it's a chrome Trump. It's the best Trump. You cannot beat this Trump. And not only that, I want to give a big thank you to all my fans, and I hope y'all enjoy this podcast and the future podcast. Lastly, if you would like to send us recommendations on what to talk about, or if you just want to say anything to us, the email is realtagteamed@gmail.com. realtagteamed@gmail.com. Alright guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Appreciate it. Alright.